When you think of Virginia Beach, you probably don't think of this. But this is the foundation that's now fueling the seventh generation of Cullipher farms.
Always something I've intended to do. I mean, I never really saw any other course for my life.
Jeb Cullipher achieved his greatest dream this year, to start farming on his own.
I feel like if there's something that makes you curious, you should investigate it. And luckily, I've always been curious enough about farming.
That love for farming is contagious here on Cullipher Farms, a love that's been passed down from Jeb's dad and granddad, the fifth and sixth generations to farm.
When I got out of college, I worked for the Virginia Department of Transportation and farmed part-time, and did that for almost 12 years.
But in 1998, Mike and his wife decided it was time to chase that dream full-time. And in 2000, Mike got his chance to carry on that legacy that was built and labored by the 5 generations before him.
Well, my family was from eastern North Carolina originally. We were sharecroppers, but Granddaddy was the landlord. He was very compassionate.
In 1947, Lewis's parents moved here, still farming peanuts back in North Carolina, but also growing produce here in Virginia. And just like his father, Lewis had an epiphany of his own 16 years ago.
My dad, he's a creative one. He was delivering to a Whole Foods store, and he came home one day and he told me, he said, they're going to run us out of business with their marketing ideas, using wooden crates in their displays and what have you. He said, the one thing we have that they don't have is we have a farm, and they don't. He said, we need to figure out a way to get as many people to come to the farm and stay as long as they can. That's how we can survive.
With that, they moved from all wholesale to 99% retail.
It's just amazing the appetite people have about how plants are grown.
While their story and farm has changed, the one constant has been this antique iron, an original farm awl that was the first tractor Lewis's granddad ever owned.
That farm awl represents our legacy. The tractor's never been outside the family.
A rare tractor treasure that represents nearly a century of change and growth, as Lewis has one wish for the next 100 years.
If I could come back 100 years now, I hope it's pretty much like it is on it grows. We got to grow, we got to change.
Mike says he cherishes his family's past and his father's foresight 16 years ago.
That with Jeb, with his cattle and with his livestock deal, that we're doing the same thing my grandfather and great-grandfather did, but we're really not changing. We're going forwards, but we're going backwards at the same time.
A tractor that's a tribute to the past, but a nod to what's allowed this 7th generation to now grow. Jeb says for that, he's grateful.
I really can't express that enough. I'm very grateful to the both of them, but my father especially. He's really given me a lot of opportunity at a young age to develop my own unique interest and passion for this.
And I got that from my dad. His thing was, if you think it's a good idea and we can afford to do it, do it.
As Jeb wraps up his first year of carving out his own operation, it's also reigniting the passion in Mike.
One of my dad's oldest friends always said, when you lose your spark, you need to quit and go home. And so if you lose your spark, you're in trouble. And so that Jeb kind of got my spark going again.
As for Lewis, he couldn't be more proud that this is where Jeb wants to be.
Jeb would be successful in a vocation he selected, but we're glad he selected farming.